You remember how to patty cake?
Patty cake?
Yeah, Crow was like, came home from school, was trying to do it with me, but I couldn't remember it. Do you remember?
I don't know how I ever learned it. This is patty cake, bakers, man. Roll them up and throw them up and put them in a pan.
Patty cake, baker's man. Bake me a cake as fast as you can. Margaret with a B's. Hello!
Don't remember that.
You know what, it doesn't matter. But welcome back.
Welcome back. We've gotten a lot of questions over the years about YouTube and
what goes into it, and
yeah,
like,
so many questions we can't remember.
I acted like I was gonna like finish your sentence, and then I realized I haven't.
You should just stick to your own sentences. Yeah. But first we want to say, please like, subscribe. You can also check us out on Instagram. He is at
Matt Dowds.
At Blue Hamilton. First thing we're gonna talk about with YouTube, what our purpose was when we started this channel. What was our purpose, Matt?
It was a way for us to just like connect with you guys and continue and develop a relationship.
You were able to reach out to people through your TV shows and movies and everything you were doing, but it was about having that kind of a platform, but having complete control over whatever we wanted to do and not being told,
right. Have a creative outlet that was really just ours.
Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning we didn't have a total like solid idea of what we wanted the channel to be. We just knew we had this like opportunity in this great platform, and
it was needing an outlet. I think at that time we were both in very different places, but also very similar places in life. Kyle XY had just had it just ended? Like where were we?
No, I think we were in 2009, so it had ended. And I was like working on other projects, but it still was like needing a project that was mine. Or not just mine, but our that was not like determined by other producers and directors and money people, and it was like something that we could just do ourselves.
Especially in acting, when you're working, you're really busy, and you're not, then it's just like downtime.
Yeah.
And so it was a way to keep active and keep creative and have a platform to share that on. Music was much more of a focus for me, and that was kind of my goal with this channel too, was to share some of my music with everyone. So that's kind of where it started and where it began, why it began. We could write songs and post short films all day long. I think any creative person, any artist in any form, there's a message. There's something that they're trying to
find your why.
Find your why.
We had to find our why.
Pull it down from the ceiling. What was your why? You know, we were starting a family. We have been working on certification to adopt and fostering kids, and what really was like the representation at that time that we didn't really see a lot of places. It wasn't legal in a lot of states for same-sex couples to be married. That was, I think, the major catalyst behind us saying, okay, we're going to come out of the closet.
Be husbands on the internet. We had been going through the adoption certification process, but that was like at the time not our intention for the channel.
No.
And that process all happened so fast for us, and then all of a sudden we like had our son in the house and things started shifting. And we made the we had made the announcement that we had adopted a son. Like so many things in life that like completely
all within 6 months just
completely turned things around, and our intention for everything had been like just completely upended. What we discovered from listening to you guys and our followers and viewers was that was what was missing. I mean, now there are a lot of families and gay couples, and there's still like I think there were at the time.
There definitely were,
but there was like
somewhere.
But it was not nearly what it is today. And I mean that was even like just
which is great. Like we need that representation.
Wonderful.
And speaking of representation, we teamed up with Better Internet Initiative to bring you this message.
I mean, it's crazy to think about that just 6 years ago, our marriage would have not been recognized by the federal government.
It's pretty crazy. During that time, we were working on adding a child to our family, working on our foster and adoption certification, and our government did not recognize our marriage as valid. Though some states did have civil unions for same-sex couples, it was not marriage, and according to HRC, back then couples were denied more than 1,100 federal rights, including those denied by their given state.
But that is why representation means so much to us. When America voted for her first president of color, Barack Obama, We voted for a leader who would go on to be the first president in US history to not only endorse marriage equality, but who also declared the Defense of Marriage Act unconstitutional and thereby setting the course for the Supreme Court to rule in favor of marriage equality. We voted in favor of a government who represented the values that we believed America stood for.
And today, it seems as if voting rights are under attack in so many places. Several states have introduced and even passed restrictive measures limiting voting access, like SB 1 in Texas. That's just one measure of a plethora that take aim at easy and fair access to voting, and sadly, they'll have the greatest impact on people of color.
I mean, it's impossible to predict the precise number of people who will not vote because of those laws. But accumulated barriers diminish voter turnout, especially when those measures particularly burden voters of color. The restrictions in Texas, for example, limit the polling station's hours, making it much more challenging for shift workers and other voters who really depended on those early mornings and nighttime hours to submit their ballots.
For context, fewer than 13,000 votes swung both Arizona and Georgia in last year's presidential election. Take that into context of the Florida voting law enacted in 2019, which denies voting eligibility to more than 700,000 Floridians because of court debts they might owe, and you're limiting the number of people who can exercise their right to vote.
Protecting our democracy starts with everyone legally eligible to vote having easy and fair access to voting, be it in person, mail-in, or early voting. A recent poll showed that 71% of Americans believe in-person early voting should be made easier. 69% of Americans support establishing national guidelines for voting, and the majority of Americans support expanding voting by mail.
Exercising our right to vote in every election is consequential. Not only the presidential election every 4 years, but state and local elections are just as important in empowering we the people to select the candidate we believe is going to represent us and address the issues that are most important to us.
And for us, voting rights and climate change are two of the issues that we are most concerned about. It is important for us to check that box next to the name of the person that we believe is going to enact and lobby for change on our behalf on these key issues.
Here's what we can all do to make sure that we are ready for voting day. Check your voter registration. We've included a link to vote.org in the description of this video where you can verify your registration.
And if you are not registered, just sign up. It's an action that you can easily take without having to donate any money. But keeping tabs on elections, especially local elections, is key to finding out when elections are happening near you. So visit the vote.org/elections-reminders/link in our description to receive those notifications. Don't worry, it's in our description. You can click it there.
And lastly, there are many nonprofits dedicated to voter awareness, like ACLU and the Sunrise Education Fund. Check them out and continue the message. The links are in the description below. Make sure you're registered to vote. And what other words of wisdom do you have?
I think that's it. Let's continue talking about some YouTube stuff. I mean, I want to say the biggest challenge, but it's not even the biggest challenge. But one of them is like, just when you start at the beginning, I guess, is like continuing to come up with ideas for content.
Audience retention is where it's at. If you don't have an audience, then why are you working on trying to spread your message?
When we went into this, we were like, we're not going to care too much or get caught up in like making sure we hit these numbers or do this or blah, 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 blah. But then you do realize at some point, you have to have an audience if you're going to keep making videos. Like you have to be able to like continue to produce, otherwise you're just making videos for almost nothing.
Yeah, things like thumbnail, title, description, it matters. And so I think that's where like Matt and I butt heads all the time. We make a video and so often after the time I'm like, whoa, we don't have a thumbnail. What's the thumbnail? Show us your go-to thumbnail. Don't be shy.
What do you mean what is my go-to thumbnail?
Well, when we post for a thumbnail, it's this. Don't make that face!
We blog or vlog a lot, right? So our stuff is just kind of like what happens in our life over the past week.
And we're not meaning to do anything other than like capture something beautiful. So this
capture a moment.
the audience retention algorithm.
But
we're not thinking about that when we're making videos.
We're not, especially titles, like because the title and the thumbnail are like the two things that like catch people's attention, right?
Yeah.
And it's like we sometimes like I don't know, we do like such the clickbaity like thumbnails. If it were up to him, it would be all like just it's like super clickbait. But it's also like it's just us having fun with the titles and the thing. I mean, like open marriage is the one I think about the most because you see that thumbnail and that title and you just assume that we're saying we're in an open marriage when really it's just something we're talking about.
Yeah.
We never even confirmed that we're in one, but everybody like now it's.
Are you confirming that we are?
No,
all right.
I'm saying I'm not, but I'm saying like just because of the title.
You're not confirming, or you're not in one.
I'm not in one.
Oh,
you're making this so confusing to me. But the point is, like, so many times people will see the thumbnail or the title, and they just like make a giant assumption because of it. But honestly,
and we
like,
can tell by your comments.
Okay? It makes us laugh, so I'm like, whatever about it. But those are, I would say, the most challenging things are the continual coming up with, or the production of ideas and content, the thumbnail and the title.
Well, content, especially like this past year and a half, has been pretty challenging when it comes to content because we haven't been anywhere. Typically, we go places, we explore, we do these things, but so much of what we've done has just kind of been like, stay home and be safe.
But it's not only like, it is, I mean, a lot of our content centers around our home and our world anyway, but there is a sense of like being out in the world is inspiring. And it's hard when you're trapped in.
I was speaking on that level of being inspired because you're living your life.
Yeah, you're living and you find inspiration out in the world.
Even if that's not the topic, it's like you've stretched your legs, you've gotten air, you've gotten enrichment and culture.
And connected with other people and so that all like inspires content. And when you're like in this bubble, it's hard to continually source out inspiration. One of the things that we came up against that made it a bit challenging was we were both working. Blue was working he had left the music industry and working as a personal trainer. I was working as an actor, but I was also bartending at the time. Between like juggling, having a new kid, trying to start a YouTube channel and working these jobs, it all became a lot. And that's when we were presented with the opportunity to start working with sponsors. At first we were a little like hesitant about it, but then we realized that would like free up a lot of the like wasted time that we had spent like on the hamster wheel, like just trying to keep everything in motion. And so it allowed us to like take out a lot and like put a lot of our focus into just the things in our life that we really loved and that we loved spending time on, building a home, being new parents, and creating on this channel and being able to produce like creative content and stuff that like fueled our creative souls and made us happy, and also we felt like made a difference and we were able to like connect with people all around the world.
Any opportunity that we had to seize on. We have to film this because we need a video. We have to do this because we need a video. We have to share this because we need a video. And I think that allowing those sponsors to subsidize some of the cost of these pieces of equipment or trips or whatever it is that we're vlogging, it made us, I think, more efficient in what we do. It helped me learn the editing software better. And it also just allowed us to have that moment in our lives that we didn't have to share with the world. That we were actually allowed to say, we're gonna keep this as a memory for our son,
right,
and not share it.
So what it was like, family time didn't have to become vlog time.
Exactly.
So that now we can pick and choose what family time is vlog time and what time is like special, more intimate moments that are like reserved for just us and creating memories and building our family. Giving him an opportunity to like grow up as a child, not in front of the world.
If you had to do a challenge, what challenge would it have been?
I don't know. I don't even really know what the challenges were. And a chapstick challenge. What was another challenge?
Yoga challenge.
There were yoga challenges was a thing, right? I don't remember what all the challenges were.
Are they still a thing? Do people still do those?
I think we've just moved on. I think
people finally got smarter.
Well, no, I think TikTok has kind of taken over that audience, or like that sort of niche. Everything is like moved to TikTok. It's not really on YouTube anymore.
All day I've been trying to work on this project, and I've gotten that pile of rubbish. That's all I've done. It's gonna look incredible though when it's finished.
Wait, moving up, come on. Let's go get some pumpkins.
All of our yellow flowers are going away.
You try and make it go back to you.
I've never thrown a boomerang. No, this is not for you.
It's mine, Iris.
Yikes!
No, I just looked.
That was probably part of the house.
Probably.
The moment Matt's been waiting for all year.
Listen, there are two main reasons that I love the garden. Like two main things. It's for tomatoes, which have been spectacular this year, cat poop, and the pumpkins. Those are my two favorite things about it.
Speaking of poop,
That is so big, Artis. Right from the garden. Now I have cat shit on the south and dog shit on the north.
good boy, Arliss, good boy.
You. Artis, look at all that red and green. Who's a good puppy dog?
Where'd he poop? Where'd he
Artis,
poop?
who's a good puppy dog?
Hey,
Alright, look at these pumpkins, dude.
I'll take that red one next time. No, I'll take that very red one back there.
Which one? That one back there? Let's go get it. Side of me? Here,
Come on,
switch
this
sides.
is going to be the easiest spot for us.
Oh my gosh, we're making this too difficult. Alright.
Here.
Here you go. No, you got it. See? At least for the picture.
Awesome!
This guy's been my favorite. I've been watching him. This guy. I kind of like his little yellow
Oh,
spot.
that's such a great pumpkin.
Right? How high? Right there?
As long as you can get it.
Is it long? Whoa, you went real long.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's totally a U pumpkin. You know what it's like? It's like having a Jimmy in Hocus Pocus for hair. Hey! If you pop that, you have to buy me a new one.
Well, how do you feel?
I feel for our first 3 pumpkins, I feel like they're pretty fun. I'd say that's a successful.
That is just an adorable
It's adorable.
holiday arrangement, man.
It's adorable.
Nothing complements our plywood floors quite like fresh out of the garden pumpkins.